Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome back to a Mandoo Live. To think that it was just about a month ago that I had gone in here asking if this might be the last Mandoo Live that I would do, and now we are back. It's hard to really comprehend that it's only been about a month, but it feels like a lifetime. So, what's the plan for this live stream? Well, what I want to do is walk through basically the timeline of what happened with the live stream, and then when we're done, we're going to jump into a hearing as well that we can all watch together. And also, we will have a surprise special guest, of course. So where do we start? Right. So it all started with the Cisco hearing, February 8th. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a controversial hearing that happened. And here it is. I'm sharing the screen. Thomas Cisco. Do you see my screen? There we go. Do you guys hear me okay? Because it's always hard to know with these live streams. So there was this controversial hearing where there was this man, Thomas Cisco, which had committed this horrible murder in Louisiana, but it was completely, the whole case was just handled terribly by Louisiana. There was accusations that the sheriff had colluded, that maybe his son was involved, and it was really just like a scar on the state of Louisiana. And we covered the hearing. He was given parole, so he went from being given a death sentence to given life to then being given parole. And we covered the hearing, and I believe, and then the news channel right here that we're following, they reached out to me and they said, "Hey, do you have the parole hearing?" And I said, "Sure, we do." So they played it, and let's play it.
Pay for his crimes are outraged with the parole board's decision. Our team coverage continues tonight. Jade Morrow joins us live with their reaction.
It's a decision many do not agree with. Former Calcasieu District Attorney Rick Bryant says he would have personally objected to Cisco's release had he known about the hearing.
But he's the one who told us exactly where the victims were sitting in that freezer and exactly where they were shot and exactly where they were found. So we knew he was in there and we knew he committed that crime, and the jury agreed with us.
The parole board's decision to grant parole to Thomas Cisco was met with outrage. Rick Bryant was the Calcasieu District Attorney at the time. He secured a first-degree murder charge for Cisco, who was sentenced to die, before being downgraded to manslaughter charges.
And yet the Attorney General's office that had the case refused to go forward prosecuting for the death penalty, and now this Attorney General's office doesn't even show up at the hearing. That leaves the victims and law enforcement and everybody who busted their ass working on this case with this horrible outcome. It is outrageous, and I am disgusted.
Current Calcasieu Parish District Attorney Stephen Dwight says they were equally as shocked.
We were shocked that there was a vote of 3-0 to release this man who had really violently killed 3 of our citizens here in Calcasieu such a long time ago.
Dwight says the Attorney General's office didn't stay true to its word.
He pled to these 3 murders, and the citizens were assured he would spend the rest of his life in jail, and that didn't happen. And it's unfortunate that didn't happen. I disagree with what the parole board did.
And the Calcasieu DA's office confirms the State Attorney General's office did not attend today's parole hearing. Live in studio, Jade Morrow, 7 News.
Okay, I'm back. So what we had there is I covered this hearing, and it was a complete like it was like the skeletons, I guess, coming out of the Louisiana closet. And also, they then reported this hearing because they reached out to me, the news channel would reach out to me and said, "Hey, do you have this hearing?" And I said, "Sure." So they published the Mandoo channel, and then that's a day later. That's when the state of Louisiana Board of Paroles struck this hearing and one other. Maybe they did it conspicuously, I don't know, to strike the second hearing, but they struck me. And it was scary. And I came out making an announcement, but I was pretty scared. I went onto my channel. I said, this might be the final live chat. And that was February 9th that I got the 2 strikes. February 12th, I got another 50 strikes. So I had 52. And a man emailed me by the name of, well, the DUI guy. And I wasn't quite sure. I had reached out to a bunch of other attorneys. I had tried getting help. No one would answer my emails. I'm panicking. I'm going to lose my channel. But he reached out to me. But with that, let's add the man of the hour to the stream. Larry, are you there?
I'm here.
Here he is, the man of the hour. And I just want to tell you, like I said, I felt that I was alone. I was scared. At first, I thought I was being pranked. I thought, how could it possibly be that the assistant attorney general would strike the channel using a Gmail account? I came out saying that. And I was confused. I reached out to a lot of different attorneys and other channels that are in this space, and no one really wrote back to me. But then you, on your own, reached out to me because of a fellow subscriber actually DM'd you, and you said, "How can I help, Mandoo? How can I help?" And that's really been the start of this. But I'd love to have you hop in and share your side of the story with the community.
Sure. That's pretty much exactly what happened. I got a DM from, I guess, a mutual viewer, mutual subscriber who was like, "Hey man, Mandoo has a situation." And I'm just like, "Okay, thank you, person number 700 today, about someone in trouble, you know, the life of a lawyer." So you have to like sift the ones that you can help and those who you need to punt on to somebody else. And I looked at your situation, I talked to you, and I was like, wait a minute, I think I can help this guy, because what is happening here is against the violations of the term, is violation of the terms of service of YouTube, what Louisiana Parole Board is doing. That was my immediate first hunch, and it proved correct. I mean, it's not always correct, but in this case it was. And so we just got the process started. I told you, I gave you the text. Remember the text that we created? Yeah, for the
Oh, I was
script
on
for
mute.
YouTube.
I do remember you gave me the script. I put it in. We contested the strikes. And then this is what happened. We can actually jump into it.
Do it.
Let's do it.
Cisco's parole was rescinded last week because of a contraband violation at Angola. The hearing was streamed online by the Louisiana Board of Pardons. But now
It's not on the screen, by the way, Mandoo.
Oh no, you're right.
Robinson has more on the dispute. The Louisiana Board of Pardons
And now you have an echo going on. Do you have this YouTube open in another tab? If you just close that tab, that should solve your issue. There you go. And now you're muted.
Maybe you should be running the show. I like your hat.
Your channel, man. I'm just a guest.
You're the VIP. Oh, here we go. So we can add it here. Let's see if I can figure this out. It's not so simple. Oh, here we go. Okay. Let's go.
Cisco's parole was rescinded last week because of a contraband violation at Angola. The hearing was streamed online by the Louisiana Board of Pardons, but now they are reportedly objecting to video being shared on YouTube. Andrea Robinson has more on the dispute.
The Louisiana Board of Pardons and Committee on Parole streams all of their hearings, but doesn't publish the video after the fact. If you request them, they'll give you audio only, saying they're protecting the victims who are testifying. However, a YouTube user who goes by Mandoo records the stream and adds commentary to them on his own page. It's how we got the copy we showed you last week.
I find it to be so important.
Yeah, I know that guy.
What drives me is the idea to make transparent and to bring to the forefront how our system works, both good and bad and ugly.
After our report aired, though, Mandoo says that 52 of his uploaded parole board hearings have received copyright claims and were deleted from his page.
63 cents.
Cisco's hearing. He had been recording the hearings for about a year without any issues.
Maybe it has something to do with the controversy behind that hearing. Maybe it didn't. I don't know.
He says this could be a violation of his rights.
We're not doing anything differently than the entire YouTube community is doing. So when I got the strike on Friday, it was like that pit in my stomach. Like, how is this even possible?
Mandoo's attorney, Larry Foreman, explains that the videos on Mandoo's page fall under what's called a fair use. Therefore, he says it doesn't violate copyright.
Because he is adding value, is adding commentary, he is modifying the existing original content. As a result of that, he is allowed to keep the content. Now, the Louisiana Parole Board is saying, no, this is ours. You don't have a right to it.
Mandoo's account is monetized, but attorneys we spoke with say that doesn't change his right to fair use in this situation. Scott Sternberg, who represents media organizations across Louisiana, says besides fair use, Louisiana's open meeting law makes clear the public has a right to record a meeting.
In the day of cell phones where everybody's got a camera and can take 4K or even 8K video, people record stuff in public meetings all the time. And yes, it is perfectly legal to do so.
Mandoo and his attorney say they have appealed the copyright claims on YouTube.
It's when people stop fighting for their rights, it's when they get taken away from you. And
Andrea Robinson, 7 News.
We reached out to the parole board today for comment, but have yet to hear back.
There it is.
There it is. And now they did comment, and they came back and they made a public statement that they were doing it to protect the privacy of the victims and others involved. And we just said, hey, that's just kind of a load of crap. You're streaming this to the multi-billion subscribers. You're tweeting it. You're announcing it on Facebook. And to add to that, I actually take an additional step, which is I do blur out the faces of certain victims, and I do blur out their addresses as well, something that the Louisiana Board of Paroles does not do. And then they came back after this even happened on February 18th on a Saturday night. The Assistant Attorney General went and struck an additional 11 hearings, which is mind-boggling. I have this picture of him sitting in his mansion somewhere with the wood-burning fireplace. It's lightning, crackling thunder. He's in his boxers with a cigar out of his mouth and his whiskey, and he's striking his laptop. Yes, exactly. Cackling at the moon, because how else can you imagine it, right? Why is he doing that? But I think that he probably got a feedback from YouTube saying, you can't, and he got upset and impulsively did that. But I do want to emphasize that there were certain people that did come out and stick up for me and show their back. And first of all, I want to give a major shout out to the mods. I've gotten so many emails from my mods who have just been there with me. It's only been a month, but to think about the idea, it feels like it's been much more. I didn't realize how much. It's like you don't realize how much you want something until maybe it will be gone. And that sounds cliche, but it's so true in this case, at least for me. I didn't realize what I'd fallen into and how much this channel, this community meant to me. Something else I want to note, which was very special to me, is that I have not had one victim, or as the community likes to correct me, survivor, come out and say, please take a hearing down. They've only come to me and said, thank you for showing. I have felt alone in this struggle for 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 years, and now you're making it public. Thank you. And I've seen the comments from the community come in. So the idea that that this is being taken down to protect the so-called victims, not so-called, the victims, the survivors, it's unfounded, because it doesn't. This is what they're reaching out and thanking you for showing for showing their struggle.
I think what you're trying to say there is the so-called claim that they're making, and I agree with you, because as you aptly stated, the Louisiana Parole Board has actually come out openly and publicly said, we are violating YouTube's terms of service because we don't like what Mandoo is doing, in so many words. And we called them out on it, and we never got a statement back. Other than, of course, from YouTube, who has thus far, this is an exact number according to my conversation with Mandoo just a few hours ago. Feel free to correct me, Mandoo, if that's changed since. But out of the 63 total strikes, 61 have been officially reversed. Mandoo has his channel back, and the remaining 2 are on the course to be mended, because they're the same ones as the other 61, probably by tomorrow, because they were like the last ones in, because it's on a timetable. It's on a 10-day timetable, and if you strike on a Tuesday, you have to wait until the following Friday. If you strike on a Thursday, you have to wait until the following Sunday. Whatever it is, it's just the numbers game at that point, and those last 2 strikes came in. They were the last 2 to be made. They're the stragglers, and that's why we're celebrating regardless, because, I mean, I don't want to jinx anything, but even if, assuming like absolute worst case scenario, which is not going to happen, that those strikes do remain, it still doesn't change a thing. Mandoo has his channel back. That is a fact. It is an unchangeable as of this moment. And I hope Mr. what's his name, Willis, was it? I hope he's watching.
I mean, yes. I hope he doesn't come back and angrily strike more videos. But
see, you're saying that. I'm saying the complete opposite. Please come back. Make this story bigger than it already is. Because you think it's bad now, Willis? Wait until you try this shit again and do it wrongfully, like you kept doing up until this point. You will make this story go national. You will draw national attention at that point, because people do not accept wrongful silencing, unconstitutional silencing. People are not okay with it. People do not accept when the government oversteps its boundaries and violates people's rights. That's when the people say, and they draw the line in the sand.
On that note, and I've had a couple other YouTubers who have been very supportive, like Biggin and Squishy. But really, I did reach out to many others, and it was completely silent. And I was a little bit hurt and also taken aback, because I felt that this was not just an attack on my little channel, but this was an attack on the community as a whole, on the First Amendment as a whole. And I am, to me, it does speak a lot that you reached out to me. You didn't know who I was. You offered to help. You offered to help basically for free. And thank you, Jim, for the super chat. So I do want to know your perspective. What was going through your mind? Why is it you did that?
To say I did it out of the goodness of my heart would be a fucking lie. So I'm not going to say that. The truth of the matter is, the attack by the Louisiana Parole Board on your channel, I felt it personally, because not only as an attorney who, First Amendment is not my specialty, but I've definitely become very, very intimately familiar with the First Amendment because of the Johnny Depp trial and all these other YouTubers and law tubers that have been struck left and right during my tenure as a YouTuber. Sometimes they win, sometimes they lose, depending on the situation, including myself, you know, and that's where it really got me, is I was like, I have a channel too. I know what it feels like to get a strike and then to get 52 more, you know, and then 11 more. It's like, bro, this was obviously before all of that, but when somebody, I think they wrote who it was, Mandy, maybe. Mandy reached out to me via DM. You highlighted that comment. I was like, it resonated with me. I felt your pain because I was like, what if that was me? And what would I want? Because I know what to do. If it was me, I don't know if Mandoo knows what to do. And like I said, I felt you were in the right, and I trust my gut. And I went for it. I was just, I hopped on a call. I quoted you like $250 just for, you know, creating an attorney-client relationship. That's all I wanted. I could have done it for $1. I know people made fun of me because in theory, I could have just charged you $1 and we have an attorney-client relationship, like Better Call Saul style. But I don't know. Don't ask. It was just a whim. Who cares, right? At the end of the day, it's nothing compared to the amount of work we were able to achieve. And to me, it's about your reputation more. Like I'm getting my money somewhere else. I don't need, you know, the case or whatever. I wanted to help a fellow YouTuber. That was basically the bottom line. Since you, by the way, I have had at least 2, if not 3, fairly large, some more so than others, YouTubers even reach out to me. And sometimes I feel like they have a case. Sometimes I feel like they don't, you know. It's not a one size fits all. Oh, he helped Mandoo, he's going to help me, which kind of sucks. I wish it was, but sometimes the violation of the policy is different. But I'm not saying that I'm becoming like the go-to source, which I shouldn't be, for these things, but I definitely am more familiar with this stuff than some other lawyers. Let's just put it that way. Lawyers who are not familiar with YouTube, lawyers who are not familiar with the First Amendment, it definitely puts me a bit ahead, and I'm happy to help out whoever needs assistance. Sometimes, I mean, it's going to be no more than maybe a few responses, like send me what you got. Like I'm talking to one right now who shall remain nameless. And they have been saying like, help me. And I'm like, I don't know if I can help you. Like, your situation is vastly different from Mandoo's. The violation is a completely different type of violation. I will do what I can. And I don't even, like I told them, I don't want you to pay me. Don't pay me because I don't know if I can even help you. First, try this, and this. We'll see how that goes, and so on. So I'm glad that we were able to resolve your situation favorably, because that's, again, when I took the case, if you will, that's where I anticipated the case should go, and it did. And for you, it felt like, you know, you were in the dark a lot of the times. Like, what is YouTube doing? Are they working? Are they not? But deep down, there's the attorney instinct inside my gut who was saying, like, everything will be all right. In Hebrew, there's a saying, "Akol yeh beseder." It means everything will be okay. Everything will be all right. And I just had that gut feeling, and here we are.
I mean, I authentically, I don't think I felt alone when it first happened. And when you did reach out, I was a little skeptical because I was paranoid at that point. But having you jump on, having you have my back, having you tell me, shut up, don't worry, you got this. It has made all the difference. So much of a difference, I can't really express it. I don't think properly. And you've got a lot going on. I mean, look at your channels and the hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and, you know, for you to take the time, for me, it's more than just, it's about paying it forward. And I think you experienced what that pain and fear look like, and you want to pay it forward. And that's what makes the world go round. And I certainly learned something from this, and I hope that others can as well. It's about when you're on top, that you can help someone who is going through hell. Makes all the difference. So
Wait, who's on top in this situation?
you're on top in this situation. I mean, you went, you know, I mean, I'm this little channel. I'm like 19,000 subs, and the state of Louisiana has struck me. Why would you even reach out to me and say, how can I help? Like, it's so easy to say he obviously is wrong. The state of Louisiana obviously knows what they're doing. Why am I going to go and help this? And there are other channels that I thought would help out and reach me, and they didn't. I tweeted them, I DM'd them, I super chatted them, nothing. Okay, and I think that that says something in itself, by the way. But the idea that you went out and on your own within just before the news got involved, this is before there was publicity to it. You reached out to me and offered to help. So for me, I'll always be, and I think that speaks volumes. Thank you, live, for my babies. Live chat.
Thank your moms. They did that for you.
My mods have been absolutely outstanding. The community has been outstanding. I couldn't have done this alone. I probably would have just shriveled up, curled up in a ball and given up, but they all said, no, don't. You need to keep going. Survivors reached out to me and encouraged me to keep going. So it was a full accumulation. Of course, I don't want to forget Andrea from channel News 7, who did, as an investigative reporter, found this to be important enough to report on. So it's I think it's a small step for Mandoo and a much bigger step for YouTube creators in general. This could have set a precedent, I think, and it's even a much bigger story than it's made out to be.
You got it. It's one small step for Mandoo, one giant leap for YouTube kind. Bam.
Boom. Hi-hat smash. Exactly. There you go. And that's exactly what it is. Because the idea, I didn't think we had a shot. I said only in a cheesy Hollywood movie would a small YouTube channel win a state and a Google-owned company. It doesn't happen. There's no reason that we should have won these strikes. So,
says you.
Says me. But the DUI guy plus
the law. No. Don't be fooled. This is not the DUI guy plus. This is the power of the Constitution. The First Amendment is what truly won the day. I didn't do anything. All I did was be your voice, the voice of the Constitution. There's a big difference, because at the end of the day, I'm just a man. I used a document that was written 250 years ago that still holds a lot of power and weight today. And I said, what the parole board is doing to YouTube is incorrect, wrong, misapplied, fix it. And they looked at it and they went to the parole board and they said, oh, do you have a justification for why this is a strike? And they were like, and then YouTube went, yeah, that's not an answer, reverse strike. So don't give me too much credit, because the credit all goes to the First Amendment, the Constitution, and the United States of America.
Amen. The credit that is deserved is that you came out to stand up for someone you really had nothing to gain. You made sure that I filed the reports correctly, because if I had not, we probably would have lost. And you're also a shoulder to cry on. And for that, I'll always be indebted to you, grateful, and I will pay it forward. That is my commitment to the YouTube community. And for any of you who don't know Larry, the DUI guy plus, he's got incredible coverage. I've been really enjoying his live streams recently. I like that you're doing that. By the way, it was a blessing that you missed, that you couldn't get into the court. I know you showed up at like 5 a.m. instead of 4 a.m. or something, but it was good. I prefer your live streams while it's happening.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was good. It's good stuff. But with that, thank you, Mary. I guess with that we can jump into a parole hearing.
All right, gang. I hope you all have fun.
Thank you so much. I'll see you later on the other side.
Take care of them, Chief.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Can you believe it? The main event. Yes, Angela. Woo! He's a special guy. I just want to say, it takes a lot to I mean, I'll keep singing his praises because he did this. He reached out to me before this was a news story. He reached out to me and he said, "How can I help?" And I'm not sure what would have happened if he didn't do that. Like I said, so it's very easy to be distracted with your own problems and your own stress and your own channel, to not want to reach out to this, little YouTube channel that a state is doing all these copyright strikes. So I learned something from this. I'm going to always pay it forward. If someone ever reaches out to me and needs help, I'm going to help them out. It does feel like the world slipped off my shoulders. I'm telling you, I've had nightmares. And I know it seems like, what's the big deal? Everyone has problems in life, and we all have problems. But it has been a little bit of a tough month for me. I have this like addiction of working out at the gym, and I hurt my back basically the same time that I lost this channel. So I haven't been able to go to the gym. I haven't been able to have this YouTube channel. I lost half of my so basically lost, like, I got like half fired from one of my jobs. This all happened at the same time, so I have half time. And like, it just seemed like I was getting hit after hit after hit, and it's been a difficult month, and not knowing what's going to happen and feeling completely powerless. But then also, all of this was to realize how much I wanted this. Like, I was going through all of the uploads I have and taking screenshots of all the comments. Because I realized if the channel would get erased, I would lose all of that. And to see all of the comments, to see all of the support, to see not just support, to see just what was happening with the survivors in the community, it was like, this is priceless. Like, how, so I just wanted to, like, have it in case it would go away forever. And this was when I really realized even more how much this meant to me. I do want to show something. I want to show something before we get into the next hearing, which was very special to me. I can find it here. I thought I had saved it. See if I can pull that up, and then we'll go into the hearing. Don't worry. Yeah, let's show it here. So this was something that meant so much to me. Present, share, Mandoo. So let me show you. See if you guys see this. Yeah. Look at all of these comments. So this was posted. Oh, this is posted on my channel. It's not even. But no, this is not even what I wanted to show. Gosh, sorry guys. You know what? Maybe I just went through it. It'll take me too long. But what I was showing was all of the comments, all of the support, all of the love, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds from you guys. And I would look at them and I would read them, and it would give me the energy, it would give me the power, it would give me like the will to just keep on going. So as down as I felt, to come here and look at every single comment, it all just meant the world to me. I don't know what to say. I'll always be grateful. But let's go jump in to a hearing. Because that is the main event. And let's go manage videos. Sorry guys, this is like complex. I'm trying to figure this out. How's everyone doing? Can I see anyone right now? Comments? I don't even know. Okay. Okay, let's do this. Share this tab instead. 1, 2, 3. And go. We're about to watch a case for a crime that was committed in 1980 by a defendant who was just 16 years old. Thank you, Richard, for providing the research on this. We're going to get into the details of the case. This is the first time I'm seeing it. He was given a life sentence, and I believe on appeals, he's been given the opportunity for parole. It was for a horrific crime. But with that, let's jump in.
Good morning, Rodney. Good morning, Rodney. We can hear you. You said good morning. Good morning. Mr. Macon, please give us your full name and your Department of Corrections ID.
Oh, Rodney Macon, 93952.
You can't hear me, Mr. Macon?
Can you hear? Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Macon, my name is Alvin Roche. To my left is Earl Wise. To my right is Mr. Pete Freeman. Let me explain the process to you. I will read some information into the record. Once that information is in the record, we'll give Warden Philbin a chance to make remarks if he wishes. Then we'll allow the supporters of Ms. Van Sanders, a friend and minister, who would like to make a statement. Mr. Clarence Samuels, a friend, would like to make a statement. And your sister, Annie White, would like to make a statement, and she is going to make a statement via the telephone. In opposition, we have Ms. Patricia Waddle, the victim, who would like to make a statement. When all these statements are complete, we'll give you a chance to make a statement on your behalf before we vote. Do you understand the process?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mr. Macon, you're currently 60 years old and you're a first felony offender. You've been incarcerated for the last 43 and a half years. You were 16 years old at the time of incarceration. Is that correct?
That's right.
Your offense is aggravated rape, and you were sentenced on May 19th, 1980, and your sentence was life. At the time you were sentenced to life without benefit of probation, parole, or suspension and sentence. You've since got a parole date, and that parole date is October 26, 2007. You don't earn any good time, and your current sentence is life. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And your case has been assigned to Mr. Freeman. Would you please answer Mr. Freeman's question?
Okay, Mr. Macon, how old are you?
60. 60.
Okay. And how long have you been in jail?
43 and a half years.
Okay. What's your educational level?
I have my GED and a couple location.
Okay. What kind of vocations did you get?
Sir,
What kind of vocations have you got?
for welding and automotive.
Back in 2020, you were denied because of a lack of a transitional plan. Do you have a rep plan now?
Yes, sir.
Is it approved? Because the last we got that it wasn't approved. You know, Warden?
I don't know, Mr. Freeman. I know he submitted a address with his sister, Miss Ann White, and on College Street in Shreveport, Louisiana. I don't know if it's been approved by probation and parole yet or not. I can check while this hearing's going and see if we've got any notice from him.
One good one. We do have the denial letter. It was denied, and basically PNP has not approved that effect.
Okay. How old were you when you committed this crime?
16.
Were you using any drugs at that time, alcohol?
No, sir. Never used drugs and never drank.
Okay. I mean, what led you to do this crime? I mean, what triggered you?
Oh, I was being so young. I didn't really know what I was doing. I mean, because
Do you admit this crime?
yes, sir.
So you do remember doing it?
Right.
Okay. How do you think the victim felt after you committed this crime?
Well, I think the victim, I ain't really had no contact with the victim.
No, he said, how do you think the victim felt? What kind of?
Yeah, what kind of damage you think you done?
She go first. How do you think her emotional state was at the time?
Right.
You think it was good, bad? I mean, he's asking you your opinion because you haven't had any contact with the individual, but he's asking you your opinion.
I think she was feeling bad. I was wrong. I think she was feeling bad. I knew she was feeling bad. I didn't, at that time, I didn't really know what I was doing.
And you didn't know what you were doing. Was it because of your mental state? I mean, why you didn't know what you was doing?
But I just you had to feel bad. And
Next is, what about your juvenile record? You ever arrested as a juvenile?
yes, sir.
How old were you?
I do the record. Just around 11, 12 years old.
It says you're pretty young. I think you were around 8 years old. Law enforcement is strongly opposed. The DA, the sheriff, the chief, your family is unopposed. The victim is strongly opposed and will speak to us later. What kind of classes have you taken?
They said my vocational skills. I got my GED. I took
subsidies and tell them about the program.
Yeah.
Not the education class, but self-help program.
But I finished the sex offense class. It's I'm a tutor now in sex offense class. And
Sex offense class.
sir,
What did you learn from your sex offense class?
oh, I learned not to. I learned that I was wrong. It gave me all kind. Put me in a situation where I've been, like I say, I wasn't thinking right. I wasn't thinking straight as a kid. And the sex offense class really helped me to understand I was wrong. It also stepped me up. I accepted my responsibility to what I did.
Okay, your medium custody, you had 80 write-ups, but they were all right after you got over there. In 2008, it was your last write-up. Your risk is low, your institutional record is fair. I see you have some mental health problems. What kind of problems do you? And are you on medication?
Yes, I'm still on medication. I was taking on the outside. I was taking everything on the street. And, like I said, I finished the class. And, because it really made me recognize my responsibility to accept the things that I changed, respect that I should.
Rodney, he's asking you now about your medication that you're taking. And he wants to know about your mental health and what you do to maintain your mental health. And that's
on medication?
On my medication.
Yeah, in the prison, take medication.
Sir?
You take medication.
Take medication in the prison warden. Does he take medication?
He does, Mr. Freeman. He's he has a diagnosis, and then he sees Dr. Seal on a scheduled regular basis, and he's on medication, and he's compliant with his medication.
Warden, why don't you going to tell us what you have to say about Macon?
Well, I've known Rodney Macon since 2001, I guess, when he came here. I've known him over 20 years, and you mentioned the fact he hadn't had any write-up since 2008. He's, you know, I see Rodney quite often. I see him in the field call line. I see him in the dining room. I see him around the institution, and he's, you know, he's very active in inmate activities. He's, like you mentioned, he's completed phase 4 of the sex offender program, so he helps in the presentation of that information to the other offenders that are at lower levels than he's completed. You know, Rodney, he's pretty nervous today, if you can't tell. I mean, he and I have good conversations quite often, and he's much more outgoing when it's just me and him. He's obviously very nervous today. You know, we've talked about this crime that he's in prison for on more than one occasion. And, you know, Rodney's always expressed quite a bit of remorse for his behavior and his actions. And, you know, a lot of his, maybe he's just not able to express himself as well today as I've heard him talk before, but he does well at the institution, Mr. Freeman. He's not a problem offender. He's been active in programming. He mentioned he got his GED. He's taken other programming as well. And you know, he does have this life sentence. He is over 60 years old now. He turned 60 this past October. And he's been incarcerated a long, long time. Like I say, I've known him for 21 years of the time that he's been incarcerated. And I've never had any problems out of offender Macon. And I think he, you know, as long as he's on his medication and following his regimen on his medication and his appointments with mental health, he doesn't have any problems. He does really well. He stays structured. He stays in the, you know, right direction. He's not a negative individual. He's very positive at the institution, and he doesn't get involved in things that are that would have negative consequences on him. He's a very positive individual. And you know, I can't say anything negative about Rodney. He's done well in the 21 years I've known him. He's very approachable. I talked to him a lot. He's expressed a lot of remorse for this crime, and you know, he does a good. He's a good inmate. He's a model inmate at this institution. That's all I have, Mr. Freeman.
Hey, thanks, boy. All I have, Mr. Chairman.
I have, of course not. I understand now. I get it now that you are nervous today. Because when I heard that you were a tutor for sex offender classes, so I let me know you do some talking. You're a lot more talkative than when you've been with us today. And you kept saying that you were young and you weren't thinking right. But when I go back to that crime, it was during the time of the school day when everybody was gone, except that teacher in that classroom. So you were thinking, you planned that. Is that correct, say?
Oh man, I didn't plan on it. It was, I didn't plan. No.
Or she's asking you how you ended up committing the crime then if you didn't plan it. I mean, that's what she's asking. Why did you commit the crime if it wasn't planned? And why did you commit the crime?
Because you were not enrolled at that school. You used to attend that school. You were not enrolled at that school on that particular day. And it was between 3 and 4 in the afternoon when most of the school, everybody's gone. She was just in there doing her job, getting some things together. So you timed it perfectly when you ain't heard nobody there. That's why I'm asking. And you say you weren't thinking right. So take me back to that day. What have you thought about it? In these 40 years you've been in jail, what have you come to the conclusion of?
Just relax, take your deep breath, and explain to Ms. Wise what you need to explain. Okay?
Because you say the tutor. I know you have guys deal with this all the time.
Take your deep breath and stop there.
Well, Like I said, I didn't plan this. I didn't plan on going. I was in the school, going through the school parking lot, and it was a shortcut way through the store. To the store, I was going to pick up some items for my father. And I seen her in the classroom. I started walking through the classes. I didn't know she was. Yeah, I was just going through the classes, and she asked me, "Do I work here?" I told her no. She asked me, "Did I come here to clean up?" I said no. And she said, "What are you doing here? What do you want?" So I told her that I told her that she was attractive, and so I just went up through the classes, going looking through all the classes. You know, it wasn't some plan like I was going up to plan on raping that woman. So so I just went in her room and she started walking toward the door, and I grabbed her. I mean, I don't know why. You know, there's no why. You know, did I plan this? I definitely didn't plan it. That's all.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for answering my questions. Thank you. That's all I had, Terry.
Mr. Macon. Mr. Macon,
Yes,
can you hear me?
yes, sir.
So you were going to the store to pick up some items for your dad, right?
All right.
Why did you have to walk through a school?
It's a shortcut way from where we lived at to the store. You just go through.
Why did you have to walk through the building? You could have walked through the yard.
Why were you inside? Why were you inside instead of cutting through the yard? Why did you go inside the building? That's what he's asking.
It's just we always went. My brothers and sisters, other people, they always just use a shortcut. We just it's a short way to go.
Now, Mr. Macon, you were a student at that school at one time, right?
Yes, sir.
Why were you not in school at that time?
Oh, I had moved on to another school. I was at this school for about 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, what was the reason why you left that school? Oh, did you get expelled?
No, sir. I graduated from that school, like from
Elementary school. Okay, so you had passed that level and you were at another school.
Yes, sir.
So if you didn't plan it, why did you physically attack Miss White? Why did you, and I'm quoting from the police report, you beat, choked, hit, you bit her, and you slammed her to the ceramic tile floor and hit her head, grabbed her hair, and smashed her head to the floor multiple times. Why would you do that if you didn't plan homework when you went in?
Excuse me. I went, like I said, I went to the school, through the school, and I didn't plan no one being in the building. I didn't know nobody was in the building. So I just like I said, it was a shortcut way to the store. I had no plans on going in that building and raping that woman.
He's asking about the violence that the victim suffered through the violence, about, what he's reading from the police report. He's asking you if you didn't plan all that, if you didn't plan to do it, why did you end up being so violent with the victim? That's what he's asking.
But like I say, the victim, I opened up her door and she was in there putting together a doll or something. And I really can't remember doing
Sir, you don't get that violent with the individual unless you had some kind of premeditated reason for being in that school.
Sure.
Can you explain your actions of the violence against the victim? That's what he's wanting you to explain, Rodney. If you can't explain it, then tell him you can't explain it. But he's asking you specific questions. You need to answer the question if you can.
But being violent, she I don't know, man. She tried to run, I guess, go out the school door, and in fact, I learned that there was several teachers still there in the school. I wouldn't kick her out.
If a 16-year-old stranger walked in my classroom after school hours, after very peculiar, I would start running too.
Yeah.
So you can't explain why you violently beat, threw a person to the floor, smashed their head on the floor multiple times, then you sexually assault. Thank you, sir. At this time, we'll hear from Van Sanders, a friend and a minister and probably a spiritual advisor to the offender. Reverend Sanders?
Yes. First off, in the Catholic Church, I'm a lay minister. I'm not a ordained minister. I'm a lay minister. Okay. And I volunteer to teach courses there at David Wade, and have been doing it since roughly 2014. And some of the courses we've taught up there are Be a Man by Father Larry Richards, which is a DVD, and also some by Scott Hahn and Jeff Caven and several others. And one of the things I would say about meeting Rodney is Rodney was at first, when he came into the classroom, was kind of shy and timid. But over a period of time, he's still kind of shy and timid, but he speaks up. He speaks up on the issues. And we have had some very good conversations about God, about Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit. And the thing I think that impressed me most was I didn't find this out until we came back, because COVID took a toll on the men at David Wade, and I imagine took a toll upon the men and women at other correctional institutions also. But the thing I think that impressed me about Rodney is that he was consoling men who had lost parents, who had lost brothers and sisters and friends. He had taken the time to find a way to console them there at David Wade. And plus, David Wade has a hospice program. And one of the men that is at David Wade, a man by the name of William Brown, he works hospice. And also another man by the name of Mike Blanc, he also works hospice. And one of the things that they shared was the opportunity when Rodney was able to talk to the men who had lost family members and friends. And I think he lives by, he says he will stand on the word of God. That's what he lives by. And that's, I believe, what he is all about, standing on the word of God. And the only way I can say this, he is sorry for what he did. And he realizes how painful it was for the victim. And I think he is ready to be allowed to come back into society. And he understands what the meaning of restorative justice is, because we talk about it in the class, and to be let back into the society. And I would end by saying this. In my lifetime, I'm 77 years old. I spent 29 years in the Air Force, and you have all that in my letter. But I would end by saying this. I am proud to know Rodney because of the very simple reason that Rodney talks to the other men in his own quiet way, and they look to Rodney. And you can tell as he's a leader, an informal leader, and that's a beautiful thing. And I know, and I'll say, I know he's sorry for what he did at 16 years of age. And I think he would be a good citizen back out here with us. And that's where I'll end it.
Thank you, Mr. Sanders, and thank you for your work with the offenders at David Wade. Mr. Clarence Samuels, a friend.
Yes. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm Rodney's friend. I've been his friend since my 15 years at David Wade. I discharged in September of 2013. Rodney impressed me by his character as an inmate. As an inmate, you get to see all kinds. You see the people who you know are just rotten to the core, and you see other people who did something crazy a long time, and they have had that attached to them. So no matter how they change, that bad thing they did, although it's not a part of their character anymore, it holds them down. And Rodney, I got to go back a little bit. Warden Goodwin helped me to get into substance abuse. I have to tell you about my record to show you how people can change. I committed simple robbery in the late 80s, got on probation for that. While on probation for that, committed another simple robbery and armed robbery. Served 6 years for that, got out on supervised release, and committed another armed robbery. 3. I went to jail for 15 years, and I said, listen, I was on drugs when I committed those crimes, so please help me get some substance abuse treatment so that I can be whole when I get out this time. Warden Goodwin got me into the best program in the state. When I returned to David Wade, it was cold. It was holiday season. All I had was a jumpsuit. The warehouse was closed, but Rodney went in his dormitory and came out with jeans, underwear, socks, sweatshirt, so that I would be warm. literally gave me the clothes off his back. And we had this friendship for the 9.5 years that I've been out. I got out. My wife was able to retire, and I was able to change. I'm respected in the community, respected at work. And if I could do that with that horrendous record, you know, I had a pattern. You know, by my record, I shouldn't be walking the streets now. But now here I am, respected. My wife is retired. I support my family. If I could do that with the help of Warren Goodwin, and he's speaking well of Rodney, then I think we should take Warren Goodwin at his word and take me at my word. I knew this man. He did a horrendous thing when he was 16 years old. He acted on impulse.
Samuel, wrap it up. Wrap it up, Mr. Samuels. Wrap it up.
All right, the man he's changed. He's not that person who did that bad thing. And how long is long enough? I mean, he's an old man. I can help him get a job. I've been sending him money. I'm going to support him to the best of my ability. He won't be a burden on society. He's a decent person. And he deserves to be seen for the person he is now. He may not speak well. He doesn't come with a rehearsed speech, you know, but he feels remorse. I know he feels remorse because I've witnessed self-harm over the years. I felt remorse. I tried to kill myself in prison. He tried to kill himself in prison way back in the day because of the remorse, the self-hate because of what we did wrong. That's part of the growing process. And then we recover.
Tell over 3 minutes.
Thank you.
Ms. Ann White. Ms. White. Would you please give us your name and your statement?
Annie White. You got him from you, Annie White.
I'm Annie White.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Make a statement.
Rodney is my brother, a half brother. I've been trying to get him out of jail since it started when he was in Angola. We were able to get him out of Angola and get him to David Wade, and for a while Fort Wade, until it closed. And he's able to stay here with me. I have a large house, and he's more than welcome here. I've been trying to get him out of jail for unknown years. And I would just like him home because I feel like 40 years he's been there almost. How long should he pay for a crime that he did when he was a young man? That's all I really got to say. I would just like him home.
Are you the one that live on West College Street?
Yes, I am.
Okay, that residence has been denied. I don't know.
What?
Yeah, that residence plan has been denied. We don't have a reason.
Well, Miss Jennifer,
yes, ma'am.
When I talked to her, she said she had been trying to reach me and hadn't been able to reach me. So she had Rodney to call me, and I called her, and she said, well, I had problems reaching you, and since I wasn't able to reach you, I denied it. I said, I don't know why, because I talked to another probation officer. He came here and I talked to him, and she said, oh, he's not the one that handled the case. He was just doing a probation thing. But when I talked to her, she said, well, you've done all you can do. You have to, Rodney have to do the rest. And she didn't say what the rest was, but when I talked to Rodney, he said, yeah, I know what I have to do. I have to file again for residency. He is welcome here, and I'm sorry that I wasn't able to talk to Miss Jennifer before then.
But Jennifer has the correct phone number now?
She has the correct phone number and she has the correct address.
Very good. Very good. All right, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. White.
So that's
Now, thank you. Well, now we'll hear from Patricia Wido, the victim. Ms. Wido, would you please open your mic, give us your name and your statement.
I am Patricia Waddle. My name was Patricia Welch back during the attack. I was a young mother, 2-year-old child at home. Just started my teaching career, graduated from college, was excited, assigned a 3rd grade classroom. And did I survive? Yes, I survived. I finished my career. I did 43 years in the field of education, taught children with disabilities, children from poverty, was involved with Head Start. But not a day goes by that I don't feel the trauma and the scars that I suffered that day. When I got home that evening, I'm sorry, I thought I could do this without tearing up, but I'm trying. When I got home that evening, my 2-year-old child, I held him because I thought I was going to die. I knew I was going to die. And the only thing I could think of was my child. I had to go home to my baby because he had a disability and he needed a mother. And he looked at my face that was all swollen and he just said, "Mommy, are you okay?" And I said, "Yes, I'm okay." But he chose to go to that school. My classroom was on the 3rd floor, 2nd or 3rd floor. I don't remember. It was not on the ground floor. So if he was making a shortcut through the building, why did he go upstairs? I was teaching 3rd graders who didn't have much. And I was putting in a playhouse so they could have a place to pretend. And he came in, and at first I thought he was a cleaner because they used a lot of young teenagers to clean the classrooms. And the minute I found out that he wasn't, I tried everything I could to get out of that classroom. I got to the door. So many times I reached for the doorknob and he would yank me back. Even through my entire career, I could never have my door closed because and the principal for 43 years would come by and close my door and I would open it because I couldn't understand why I was so fearful of being stuck in a classroom with a closed door. But now I know why. It's because I wanted so badly to get out, to escape, to survive, to live. This was done in an elementary school in the middle of the day, a violent crime. We have to stop that. It's getting too much. Too much violence are in schools. Schools are safe haven. He made the choice to enter that school. He made the choice of going up to the 2 or 3 flights of stairs. He made the choice of entering my classroom. He made the choice of attacking me, beating me, raping me, almost killing me. Those were his choices. And I just can't fathom being released back out where he can make that choice again and maybe have more victims or even a child. So thank you for this opportunity. That's all I have to say is I have suffered. I survived, but I've suffered. Thank you.
Ms. Wild. Mr. Macon, would you like to make a very brief closing statement?
Yes, sir. We know that kids have committed all kinds of crimes out on in the free world. And like I said, I'm very sorry for what I did. Very sorry. Not it's something I have to live with for the rest of my life. Remorse. And now I understand how the victim felt. But 40 years in prison, that I don't understand. Saying I want she wished that I die in prison. And I don't want to die in prison. And thank you.
I would recommend executive session.
Thank you, Mr. Macon. We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second that we go into executive session to discuss confidential matters. Would you please call a roll? Yes.
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 We're going into executive session at 12 o'clock. We will return in a few minutes.
This is this case is just totally. I wonder how they're going to call this one. You know, we have seen over and over and over again where they let people out who have murdered after serving this much time. We have seen where they let 16-year-old, we had a case where he was 16 years old. He walked into his neighborhood comic book store where he knew the owner and he shot him in the head, and they still don't know why. And, you know, what's interesting about this case is that he doesn't have what you would normally see, which is the parole project. Of course, you don't see the DA because, you know, they don't show up to anything that doesn't have to do with drug dealing. The victim, the survivor, she spoke so elegantly. I think for me, what it comes down to is that you just can't have a worse hearing really than he's having. It's just, he just seems to completely he's lying. First of all, he's lying. He said that he went through there to take a shortcut. He's not he's not taking accountability. He doesn't have insight into why he did what he did. And just for those reasons, I have to say no, because it's not about punishment. It's about protecting. What from this hearing have you heard that is going to make you feel safe, that he's not going to go back out and repeat something this horrific? He went into the building. He went up to the second or third floor. He went in the classroom. When she tried to escape, he nearly killed her.
The committee of parole is back in session. Time is 12:03. Is the panel ready to vote?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman.
Okay, no doubt that Mr. Macon has committed a very horrendous crime. And he was a teenager at the age of 16. I do believe he probably had seen Miss Waddle before and thought she was a very nice looking lady, and it probably was premeditated. But the fact is, Mr. Macon, you served 43 years. You've had a good prison record, a good disciplinary record. You had good comments from the warden. So I'm going to vote to grant with electronic monitoring and a curfew of 9 to 6. I want you to get a mental health evaluation and follow any recommended treatment. Warden, hopefully he'll be sent home with 2 weeks of medicine, and the probation officer will be notified that y'all have an appointment set up for him.
Absolutely.
Can't get to that evaluation, you call your probation officer and they will get you there. Okay? Because I think you need to stay on your medicine 100%. This is a very, very, very tough case, but that's my vote today.
Mrs. Wise.
Mr. Rodney, I'm having a hard time. Ms. Wallow, I can just sense that you rendered excellent service on your 40 years in education. I commend you for that. You made the adjustments. I really commend you for that. A lot of students are better off because you touched their lives. But Rodney, you didn't answer my questions the way I thought you should. I don't think that you and I hope when you talk to the young men, you prepare them to own their crime. Go ahead and process it and go ahead and figure it out, because you're gonna be asked about it at a hearing. Or pass it on, to other guys, down the road. But the community support that you have, the family support that you have, and the positive comments from the warden, I'm inclined to take a chance on it. My vote is to grant as well, and I concur with the special conditions that's been set forth by my colleague. That is my vote.
Rodney, you have received 2 votes to grant your request with attached conditions. Rodney, you interviewed with very poor. You did not answer our questions. And based on adamant opposition from the victim, based on opposition from the judge in the first JDC, who's strongly opposed, opposition from the Caddo Parish DA's office, opposition from the Caddo Parish Sheriff, Steve Prater, and opposition from the Chief of Police of the city of Freeport, Louisiana, I'm going to deny your request. Based on a vote of 2-1, your request for early release has been denied. You have a good day. Ward Goodwin?
Yes, sir.
This concludes our hearings at David Wade. As always, thank you for facilitating, and we take your comments and remarks in the highest regards, and we appreciate you. And time is 12:07 p.m. You have a good day, Warden.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good day. You got 2 votes, man.
Mr. Roche, He is the victim's advocate. It is his job to protect the victim. We've seen him do it time and time again. I was not sure what his decision would be in this case, though. And it surprised, I think, everyone, including Miss Waddle. I think she looked surprised that the 2-to-1 outcome gave him a denial, and I think it's because he needed a GED to get the 2-to-1. That's just the rules they have. But frankly, for certain cases, okay, we've seen, and I said, where is the DA? Well, at least the DA wrote a letter and said they were opposed. But really, I'm so sick and tired of them not showing up for these things. They show up to all the other stuff, but they don't show up to this when there's an actual victim in the room making a statement, and she's standing there strong and tall and brave, all alone. When they have a whole room full of other people advocating, she's all alone, but she did it, man. She's impressive. She stuck with her. This happened to her early in her career. Most people would have it would have been it, but she stuck it through. For me, when I look at like certain factors, he was 16 when it happened. He served 43 and a half years. We've seen so many cases where people do take multiple lives and get out, and he was 16, and we've seen people take lives and get out. But the difference in those cases, I think, is victim opposition, but mostly it's just about the interview. If he would have come in here, the bottom line is, if he would have came in here and said and explained in some way, just to say he was an angry 16-year-old, he wanted to do it, he can't quite understand where his rage came from, but instead it was just a lie after lie with like pretty much nothing substantive coming out of his mouth. And you had 43 years, and you want to say, well, he never thought he'd get parole. He had a long time to prepare for this day, and he had nothing. And if you can't go out there and at least then it's like, because this happened. It's sad, but it does. When someone is institutionalized and spends that much time, they can get out and they can reoffend again. And it happens. And it happens a lot. It happens a lot. But it could be a day. And if someone doesn't come up and show you that, like, that they have the insight and the tools to succeed on the outside, then why should they go out and succeed on the outside? And it's interesting, but Mr. Marabella and Miss Wise, they're like, no, you can get out. I wanted to root for him because he's 16, and when it happened, and he served 43 and a half years, but he gave nothing to work with. And I'm happy with the outcome because, frankly, it just feels like a coin flip. Like, this is not even about punishment aspect. This is about keeping people safe. And if you just can't express in any level, like at any level, about what he did wrong or why he did it, and And he lied. He lied. He has no reason to lie. He insisted and insisted over and over again. I was going through the school to take a shortcut. No, you weren't. It's funny, Mr. Marabella, even, not Mr. Marabella, one of my, I kind of wish Mr. Marabella was on the board for this. But thank goodness we had, so Mr. Freeman says she was, what did he say? Like, I believe you went there to basically get her to do it, and you lied to us, but we'll still let you out anyways because of, This was an intense hearing, very emotional roller coaster. And you can see the disappointment or even anger or shock or something, in his supporters' faces. But it's like, if you were to support this man, do you not want to hear him have insight as to why he did the crime? It could be anything. He could say that he was abused when he was younger. He was from a broken home. He was just an angry, enraged. It's not. They just want to hear some insight, and there was just nothing. And the lies. So, he can still try to work through this if he has the capacity. I mean, we have seen different hearings where we had a copy of like their IQ report, and EIQ comes in just on the cusp of being considered not mentally capable, but we don't have any of that information here. And think about how scary it is too. It's like, make sure that he gets out with 2 weeks of his medication, and then he needs to, like, do you think that anything moves that quickly in this system where within 2 weeks he'd have a script for his medication? I don't see, things don't move that quickly. In the best case scenario, without getting out of prison, try to show up somewhere and get a script in 2 weeks. Good luck. Like that just seems dangerous in itself. Anyways, tell me what your thoughts are on this. With that, I'll let you go. Okay, everyone. We are back. Do you want to have another live stream? I'm outside, as you see, in my backyard. Hey, BK Star, you want to say hi? I'm asking my sister if she wants to say hi, but she doesn't want to say hi. Well, maybe she'll change her mind. Do you want to change your mind? No, she's very upset at me now. Okay, so we will. Yes, we are outside, everyone. We had a barbecue. It was delicious. Oh, she's coming to say hi. I think this is her. Here we go. PK Star.
Enjoy.
This is my baby sister, as we all know. You absolutely look less stressed. I am less stressed.
Because I'm here.
That's because my baby sister is here. Oh, hey, Sarah. Thank you for writing. It means a lot.
Hey.
Yeah, so I have to tell you a story about my baby sister today. We lent her the family minivan, and an hour later she calls, and I tell her, I say, so I call her and I say, she calls me and she says, I'm really sorry. I'm really, really sorry. I had a fender bender. And oh my God, I give her the minivan and she has a fender bender. But it wasn't a fender bender because it was a dent that was put there like 6 months ago. There was rust on it. She parked the car, and she thought that someone had scratched the car when it was parked, which is really funny because one, you don't call it that a fender bender. I'm envisioning like where you crash a car, and two, it was a dent that was like rusty in there for months. So that's kind of funny because like I got really stressed out. Like I didn't realize how stressed out I'd be. I was thinking I'd have to call the insurance company. It's more about was the insurance. Like my insurance rate is gonna go up, you know? But yeah. I know. I said, what? It's not a fender bender. A fender bender is when you crash. Like, yeah, she can. But I'm like, how? No, but she's like, I left the parking lot. And so I'm like, but you have to get a police report. Like, if someone hit your car, you have to get a police report so we can have like a no fault claim on the insurance. And it was funny because it was, what do you mean invisible? That was stressful. Okay. Anyways, let's do this new hearing.
He was very
Center and with his staff, and David Wade introduce himself.
Anna Walton.
Crystal Seymour, Tammy Lynn.
Turn them out.
We're good with you join us in a moment.
Thank you. We're ready for our first case. With the offender, please introduce yourself, give us your full name and your DOC number.
How y'all doing? My name is Leroy Bird, 608855.
Good morning, Mr. Bird. My name is Alvin Roche. I will be chairing the panel this morning. To my left is Ms. Pearl Wise. To my right is Mr. P. Freeman. Let me explain the process for you. I will read some information into the record. Once that information is in the record, we'll conduct a parole interview with you. At the appropriate time, we allow Warden Goodwin and his staff to make remarks if they wish. We have a guest today, Ms. Cynthia Bird, and she would like to speak. We also have Adam Dozier, an employer, and he would like to speak. And at the end, before we vote, we'll allow you to make a statement on your behalf. You understand the process?
Yes, sir.
Also, with us by Zoom is the assistant DA from Jefferson Parish, Mr. Randall Myers, and he would like to make a statement at the appropriate time. You understand the process, Mr. Bird?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Bird, you're 32 years old. You're a second felony offender. Your DOC number is 608-855.
Yes, sir.
Your offenses are cocaine, distribution of cocaine, and you were billed as an habitual offender. You were sentenced on August 14, 2014, and you received a 15-year sentence on both the one concurrent. The total sentence is 15 years. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Your parole date was February 15, 2018. You're not eligible for good time, and your parole term date is May 14, 2029. Is that information correct?
Yes, sir.
Warden Goodwin?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Would you put your name on the record, please?
Jerry Gibbons, Warden, David Wade Correctional Center.
Thank you, Warden Goodwin. Your case has been assigned to Mrs. Wise. Would you please answer Mrs. Wise's question?
Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Okay.
Good. I am very worried about you. What do you need?
Come again?
I said, I'm very worried about you. What do you need to live a crime-free life?
First I need help.
And I know you're record help. What help do you need?
Like as far as like staying focused on the right track and just staying positive. I need positive energy around me. So I had reached out to this reentry program. It's called the First 72 Plus, and they're gonna help me get settled in life, help me achieve my GED, because I tried to take my GED 3 times and I failed, but I ain't giving up. I'm gonna keep trying. And
are you enrolled in GED now?
No, ma'am. I'm on a backlog list.
Okay, so where did you try 3 times to get it? Where were you at?
I tried when I was staying in Memphis.
Okay.
2008.
Okay.
I also tried in Angola twice, and I failed the test.
Okay. Okay, I just wondered where you were. Okay, because I didn't see no indication in the record that you'd been enrolled in the high set. That's why I wondered. Do you have a trade?
No, ma'am.
So if you go home today, how would you support your 2 children, aged 14? How would you support them?
Well, I have 2 friends of the family. One of them is present today, Adam Clover. He's going to be help. He's giving me a job upon my release, and I have another friend in the family named Ronald Hogan. He's a supervisor at Energy. He told me that he'll be willing to give me on work on his crew. So I have a good support system of staying focused.
Okay. Okay. But you when you answer that question, you didn't tell me what you'll be doing. You tell me what they got going on, what they are doing. That's how they're staying positive. That's how they're supporting their families. You didn't say I will be working at so and so, doing so and so.
Well, I'm sorry. Yes, I'll be working upon my release with Adam Clover at Caressing Detail, and I'm trying to get on at a second job at Energy too with a friend of family.
Now you had indicated in your written request for parole that your dream job is to work offshore.
Yes, ma'am.
But you didn't say anything about how you plan on applying for offshore jobs. You hadn't done anything toward offshore, and that's your dream.
Yeah, because I was like, at the moment when I come home, I was going to be working with the family, and once I got situated, I was going to try to apply for my TWIC card and my ocean card to go offshore. But I just really had to just put my feet on the ground first and get started from somewhere. You know, I'm not going to try to tackle all these obstacles at once. So I was just going to take it a step at a time and get situated.
Okay. But if that's how you see it, but one thing, if that's how you see it, I'm gonna leave that there. Let's talk about your disciplinary. Now, the records I have show that you just got out of restrictive housing December 21st of 2022. Is that right?
What that day was, ma'am?
A few days before Christmas last year.
Yes, I think it was December 5th. I was in a working cell block.
When did you get out of restrictive housing?
I think that was December 5th. Yeah, December 5th.
Oh, okay, December 5th. And how long you have been there?
Since November 22nd, 2022.
Okay, so.
Not correct. Not 2022, Ms. Wyatt. He's been in restricted housing for, he's been in there for a significant period of time since he got to David Wade. Since his arrival at David Wade until December 5th, 2022, he was in restricted housing and came to us as a disciplinary transfer from either Angola or a Hunt, or maybe both. So I think Angola sent him to Hunt, and like a week later, Hunt sent him here for discipline.
Yeah. Okay. So what? Thank you so much, Ward. That clears that up. Thank you so much. You're 32 years old when you're a disciplinary problem. Well, what are you gonna do about that? They froze. Hello, hello.
If we can hear you.
Okay, now, so what are you gonna do about your disciplinary? What are you gonna do about your disciplinary history?
I did a dramatic change. Like I really found myself and humbled myself, like far as my anger. That's why I took these self-helping programs that they had to offer, and I got my certificates for them.
Okay, what did you learn in the anger class? Tell me 3 things you learned in the anger class.
Well, the most important one is I realized that everybody deal with anger, but it all depends on how you react to the anger. It's like how you respond to it. So I just really completed that package on taking a look at my life and how my anger set me back and caused me the triggers that trigger my anger. And I just been working on how to respond to them in a positive way.
And when was your last write-up?
January 27th of what was that? 2022.
1/27/2022. You keep that date in your head. You really need to keep that date in your head, because that's the beginning of a new life. That's the beginning of somebody that's trying to get out and stay out. Now, I do want to state for the record that all your prior supervisions will be revoked. So you have a poor supervision history, and they will revoke due to new charges, continuing criminal activity. That's why I'm so concerned about you. And you got those kids looking at you.
Yes, ma'am.
Now I'm just concerned that you're not going to be able to do what you need to do. And you at age 22, you had a robbery in Tennessee. What were you doing? What was that about? Tell us briefly about that.
I was actually in a car when a robbery took place, so they charged me with simple robbery and after the fact, but being in a car, but I wasn't the one that really did the robbery.
Was it a store or was it a person? How did that go down?
The person who I was with, he snatched a woman purse and hopped in the car and pulled off.
Oh, he was driving or you were driving?
I was driving. But he drove there. I drove leaving here.
So y'all switched drivers and let him get out and snatch the purse, and then you would drive.
Yes, ma'am.
So you knew what he was doing?
Not necessarily, no, but I take full responsibility of pulling off. So okay. Yeah.
Okay. So what grade did you drop out of school, and how old you were?
In 9th grade, I was 17.
You just had, why was that? Why did you drop out? Do you remember?
For behavior reasons. I kept that woman right there, Miss Cynthia Bird. I was driving her up the wall with coming back and forth to school fights, and it was just getting too out of hand. So she dropped me out because she couldn't take it, and I don't blame her because I didn't put her through a lot.
And you dropped her off where? What you mean? So you just stopped going to school? And what did you do then?
From there,
that's after 17.
Yeah, from there, once I dropped out of school, I started hustling. I was selling drugs for the charge I'm on now, and it was just.
The charge you're on now is kind of, you had a robbery at 20. Dropped out of school at 17. You had a robbery at 22, and then you switched over to drug dealing, or it's getting arrested in a way.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you proud of that life?
No, ma'am. Not at all. That's why I just been trying to reflect on my life, and yeah, I want to do better. That's why I came this far. I am now. Like I'm not satisfied. I also told my mama that before it's all said and done, like I ain't do nothing at all for her to be proud of me. So I got a plan. She's gonna be proud of me before it's all said and done. That's why I got my life together, and I got my kids, to take care of. So I'm changing. It's been a progress. I can't say I know my disciplinary record probably don't show it, but from the last year it shows it because I've been a year without a write-up. But I'm changing for the better. And before it's all done, like now, at first I ain't have no value on the things I was doing. So now, like everything I'm trying to accomplish, I put value on it. Like if I get this job, where do I see myself in 5 years? I know I can't give up, I can't stop working, because the value behind it is like my mom, my kids. That's the things I value. So now I'm just focused on trying to leave something for my son. And at Hunts, I had started a nonprofit organization. I got it branded. I'm working on that right now. It's called Help Me, Help Us. And I just want to try to go grab the kids. I want to start from my neighborhood and grab the kids that's living like me and let them know that that's not the road to go down. But I know it starts with small steps, and I'm trying to take them here, man. I'm trying here, man.
I'm not so worried about you. I'm glad to hear what you had to say. I appreciate it. Thank you for talking to me. That's all I hear. Warren, anything else you want to tell us?
No, ma'am. Mr. Parole, record speaks for itself. And I noticed, he hadn't had a write-up since January 2022, which is, I guess when he makes his mind up to do it, he can do it. But prior to January 22, he had a horrible conduct record. But something happened in January, and he didn't do it much better. So I know he can do it if he wants to, Ms. Parole.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Warren. That's all I had, too.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Bird,
Yes, sir.
I enjoyed listening to you. It seems as though you have turned the corner. It really seems to turn the corner, and you've got to make your brother proud. But for the record, I have to enter this because you've come a long way.
Yes, sir.
From 2016 to 2021, you've been in working cell block, extended lockdown, or some other form of segregated quarters 35 times. You realize that?
Yes, sir.
You had 15 write-ups in 2019, 15 write-ups in 2020, and you had 30 write-ups in 2021, and you had the one in 2022. Deplorable.
Yes, sir.
But it seems this morning from your interview that you have turned the corner, but you have to show us at least another year or two that you've turned the corner, take all the programs you can, and when you do get out, these jobs will be waiting on you, and you can become a productive member of society. You're only 13 years old. You're a young man. And when you do get out, you can get a good job, put into Social Security or retirement plan, and live a very normal life. Yes, ma'am. Would you introduce yourself and give us your statement?
My name is Cynthia Bird. I'm Leroy Bird mother. And I would just like to say, I don't want to cry. But this has been very hard for me. And I know that my son can't do this. He's a good child. He just have very bad ADHD. And I have been going through this with him for so long. But once he set his mind to do something, he can do it. And I know
And God knows that he will see fit for him to come home and take care of his kids. Because he loves his kids. He loves his family. And all he needs to do is stay on the straight and narrow. From this point on, I am so proud of him for everything he have accomplished since he been at David Wade. The other prisons where he was at, yes, he was getting into a lot. He was trying to survive. I even had to get the DA to get him moved from Angola because they was trying to kill my son in Angola because of some stuff they thought he was into and he was nowhere around it. But I pray and I ask God and I ask you all to just find it in your heart to just give him a chance. Because 15 years, that's a long time. And I really think that he have learned his lesson and he's ready to come home and do what he's supposed to do as a man and as a father. I love him with everything in me and I did everything I could for him. But I know with that ADHD, that took a toll of him and led him directly into the wrong direction. I thank y'all for listening to me. Okay?
Thank you, Ms. Bird. And I think your son has turned the corner, but he needs some additional programming.
Yes.
He needs time, so when he gets out, he will stay out.
Yes, yes.
Mr. Adam Closure?
Clover.
Clover?
Yes.
Clover? Would like to make a statement?
Yes, sir, I would. Leroy is also my sister's baby dad, so that's who his son is for my sister. So I've been knowing him for a little while, and I come from the same place. I was in prison, but I came home and I started me a business. I've been in business for like 5 years now. I own a house now, and I'm a big motivation to him. I'll be here every step of the way with him positively to help him out, to show him that you can do better once you come home. And I talk to him when he calls, so I tell him the same thing over the phone. So I'm here for him. I'm here for a role model, here to help him every step of the way financially, whatever I can talk to him to help him better. And I can recommend also, I was in Odyssey House, so I did like a lot of counseling when I got out. I took like different classes and different meetings, group meetings. Some of them was alcohol and and all that, but the things we was talking about helped us with life situations. So I can recommend all that for him, and I'll be right there with him, helping him out every step of the way.
Mr. Closure, the support you will provide him will be immensely important, and employment that you supply will help him to get a good start. Thank you, Mr. Closure.
Thank you.
At this time, we would like to hear from Mr. Randall Myers, Assistant DA from Jefferson Parish.
Good morning, Randy Myers, Assistant DA in Jefferson Parish. At this time, we strongly oppose to Mr. Bird's release on parole. 2 reasons. One, disciplinary record is one of the worst disciplinary records I've seen in all the years I've been doing this. It's extremely poor. He definitely needs to turn that around before before he would be considered for parole. The other thing is when he was sentenced in 2014, when he was 24 years old. So in as many years after he had left school, he continued on that track of criminal activity. But when he was sentenced, the judge recommended that he take any self-help programs that were available, including substance abuse, education, and any other programs that were there. He's taken none. The record that I'm looking at has 0 programs that he's taken. I think he clearly needs substance abuse treatment. He clearly needs to continue working on his education. I'm glad to hear, I was happy to hear that he had been attempting to do that. And maybe a struggle for him, but he needs to continue trying to do that because education is so important. But there's other things that he can do if he's not able to get the GED that will help him out. And then, any other programs there that will assist him in his rehabilitation before he gets out. Because like I think Mr. Roche said, when he gets out, we don't want him coming back. We don't want to see him back in the criminal justice system. We need to give him tools, and he needs to work to get the tools that will help him to get out and stay out. But this time we're opposed to his request for parole.
Smile. Mr. Bird, would you like to make a brief closing statement?
Yes, sir. Since I've been incarcerated and at David Wade, I have achieved 4 certificates and some classes that I took. This one being victim awareness, anger management, another victim awareness, and risk management. So I don't know why my file ain't showing that I have any on file, but I have been being very productive. And I like to say, like, coming to David Wade, when I got to the doors, I asked for help and I asked them to give me a chance, and they did that. They did that. And since they gave me a chance, I didn't let them down yet. I haven't been in trouble since. So I just need for y'all to just give me a chance. I'm ready. I'm more than ready. And my son, I left my son. He was 1. He made 10 on Saturday, and he was my wake up call. Like I never had a father, and I was trying to. I don't know why I was trying not to break the cycle to give my son a father, but at the same time I was following the same footsteps as my daddy did, but not being there for him. But now that I got it, I got it, and I'm like I'm so jacked in. It's like I'm still gonna be asking for help. Like I'm not gonna try to do this on my own because I need the help, man. It's all about just taking a chance with me. Excuse me. But that's why I reached out to my brother-in-law, to my other friend of the family, Robert, to the first reentry program in New Orleans, First 72, because I want the help, and if they willing to give me the help, I'm not gonna let anybody down. Like I'm done with that part of my life. That phase is over with. Like I done matured up. I done humbled myself. I done left certain things alone. I'm drug free. I'm focused. I'm focusing, and it don't matter if y'all give me parole today or next year. This what y'all gonna get because I'm focused now. I'm ready. But I just ask for y'all just to reconsider and just give me a chance so I can show you. I've been 4 for 4. You hear me? I've been 4 for 4. I've been knocking it down. It's up to y'all to give me the help. Like y'all can help me. Like I don't see why I should be incarcerated any longer to prove that I can do right. Like I need to prove that out there, like to my son, like this way it counts at. So I just ask y'all, can y'all just please give me a chance? I got help. The first 42 plus, they said they'll be willing to help me, but by being so short notice, they probably wouldn't be able to house me, but they'll be willing to help me every step of the way for achieving my GED.
Mr. Bird, let's close your statement.
But that's all. I just need a chance, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Bird. Is the panel ready to vote?
Yes, I'm ready.
Ms. Wise.
Well, Mr. Bird, I couldn't say when I read your information and I was worried about you. I can't say now I'm not worried about you. I do know that you think you're ready, but trust the wisdom of this board. You're not ready. 4 certificates is wonderful, but there are a lot of programs. You need substance abuse treatment, you need a trade, and you need your high set. Now it's the time to settle down and do it. I know you feel like, oh, I can show it outside. No, show it inside. Be who you say you're going to be now. Every day, every morning you wake up, every hour, be that person now. And I urge you to reapply when you're eligible for a hearing with no write-ups and continuing programs. You like you said, you're in the best place for you. David Wade is the best place for you, and they will let you have programs and trades, take advantage of it all. But my vote is to deny today because of the need for more programs, and your history just kind of catches up with you. Best wishes to you, sir.
Mr. Freeman?
Mr. Bird, I agree with Ms. Wise, but I can tell you, if you can make it another year without a write-up and give me a substance abuse class, living in balance or something like that, my vote will be different next time. But you just got to prove it to me, okay?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Bird, I agree with my colleagues. I think you turned the corner, you're on the right track, you're in the right place. Warden Goodwin and his staff will assist you, take as many programs, get in the GED programs, and do your best. When you're eligible to reapply, and I'm almost sure if everything is where it is now, things will be different next time. I too will vote to deny based on your genuine disciplinary conduct and your poor supervision history. You receive 3 votes to deny. Your request for early release has been denied. Have a good day.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President.
So how do you feel about this? I mean, frankly, I think it was expected. His record is really, we've seen a lot of these. It's just horrendous. And I was going to jump in and say, oh, of course we see the DA here. He was in for like selling crack. So of course the DA is here. You got a 15-year sentence because we don't see the DA show up for other things, right? But I mean, 15 write-ups in 2019, 15 in 2020, 30 in 2021. Yeah, it's just, it's one of the worst we've seen. I think the DA said that too. Assistant DA said that. If he would have gotten out, it would have been totally surprised. The ball's in his court to have done better himself, and he only just started doing it. So in my opinion, sadly it's on him. He could have gotten out if he had prepared better, but hopefully he does get his act together. I don't think he'll be able to get another parole hearing in like a year. It was nice to see the board treat him with respect and tell him the kind things and words of encouragement. And it would be great if he could get a trade, like they're saying, let's see him get a trade and get him out. So hopefully that can happen. But I couldn't find anything else other than really that final arrest for the drug dealing. And with that, I'll let you go. Behavior with a juvenile. I couldn't find anything on the internet other than here we have really a cockroach. He's in for indecent behavior with a juvenile. I couldn't find anything on the internet other than that offense. This will be the first time watching it with you, but brace yourself.
Good morning, Mr. Chism. How are you?
Good morning, sir. I'm fine. Other than being nervous, I'm okay. Thank you.
Good. Would you please give us your full name and your Department of Corrections ID?
Damon Henry Chism, 591037.
Thank you, Mr. Chism. My name is Alvin Goshe. To my left is Ms. Pearl Wise. To my right is Mr. Pete Freeman. Let me explain the process to you. I will read some information into the record. Once that information is in the record, we'll conduct a parole interview review. At the appropriate time, we'll allow Warden Goodwin to make comments if he wishes. And then you have guests. First of all, you have Mina Green, your sister, who would like to speak. Ms. Sherry Thompson, your daughter, would like to speak. And Mr. Zachary Thompson, your son-in-law, who would like to speak. Also present, we have Ms. Leslie Hampton, your daughter, and she would not be speaking. Each of these persons will be given approximately 3 minutes to make a statement. At the end of these statements, we'll give you a chance to make a brief statement on your behalf, and then we will vote. You understand the process?
Yes, sir, I do.
We have Damon Chism. He's currently 59 years old. He is a first felony offender. His offense is indecent behavior with a juvenile. He was sentenced on January 27, 2012. He received an 18-year sentence. He's been incarcerated approximately 12 and a half years. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
His parole date was July 24th, 2016. He's not eligible for good time. His full term date is July 26, 2028. Is that information correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay. Mr. Chism, your case has been assigned to me, so I'm going to start with the interview. You're currently 59 years old. You've been incarcerated for 12 and a half years. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And this is a rehearing for you, right?
Yes, sir, this is my second rehearing.
So this is your third hearing.
Yes, sir.
And last time that you were denied was in what, 2019?
Yes, sir, May 17th of 2019.
Okay, and you were denied based upon victim opposition and law enforcement opposition. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
And you were requested to reapply when you were eligible. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That was the instructions I was given.
Okay, so you waited a little longer than you had to. Is there a reason why you waited some 3.5 years?
I mailed the application off after 2 years, and for some reason, the application was not received. After about 11 months, my family was able to get a hold of your board, and they notified me they had not received the application, which I was unaware of. So I was directed to reapply, and so that's what happened with that.
And we're here today.
Yes, we're here today.
So tell us what programs you have completed since 2019.
Since 2019, I finished the sex offender treatment program. I think I completed phase 4 and the facilitator phase in that. I've taken Thinking for a Change. I have to look at my notes. I'm nervous, so I'm kind of forgetful here. But Thinking for a Change. I'm currently in victim awareness. I have about 6 weeks left in victim awareness, I think. I'm also in reentry. The reentry pre-release program. I've taken a carpentry BOTEC class. That was an 18-month course that I've completed there. I've continued with the classes that were available, such as Veterans Incarcerated and AANA. I've continued attending those.
So basically, you're in reentry right now, pre-release, and you're also in victim awareness.
Yes, sir.
Tell me exactly what sex offender treatment means to you. What did you get from sex offender treatment?
It helped me kind of identify what I had done and how to, I know what I did was extremely bad and it was wrong. And I know this, so I had to, the program kind of helped me identify the process that it took that I followed. I was able to identify, the risk factors. I could look back at my crime and see, how every one of those risk factors was applied, how I applied or I displayed every one of those risk factors in my own. So it kind of helped me to follow a trail of how I got from point A where I was before the offense committed until the point where I was committing this offense. And it's it meant that I know I can identify these things. Were they to happen again, I can identify if I were perhaps going back down that particular path. I can stop. I also learned in there that there was they used a terminology called high risk situation. That was something that kind of stuck in my mind. I know that if granted parole, or when I do release someday, never to allow myself to get in a situation where I could reoffend. That is the best choice, is to stay out of any high risk situations that would allow me to do this. But it was I was able to take a good look at myself, kind of like a reflection in the mirror. Didn't necessarily like what I saw, but I needed to make changes, I know. So this did help me with this.
I see that you completed Thank You for a Change in 2022. Tell us about Thank You for a Change.
Thank You for a Change was, that was a class that kind of, the focus was on, instead of reacting so much, you would stop and think about what you were doing before you did it. And so you would try to think of alternatives and make choices that were better choices, rather than sometimes we react quickly to something, but you need to stop, think about what you're doing, consider the consequences, make a better choice, and hopefully have a better outcome.
I see that you're currently enrolled in the carpentry program. Have you completed that program?
Yes, sir. I completed that program on January 1st of this year. That's been completed, 18 months of carpentry 1 and 2.
Okay. So tell us about your transition plan. Where do you plan to live and where do you plan to work?
My daughter and my son-in-law Sherry and Zach Thompson they've asked me to come. They want me to come and stay with them in Batesville, Arkansas. That's my plan, is to go there. And I have several job possibilities lined up there, job interviews, and so that's my eventual goal. I was a subcontractor before coming to prison. I would like to perhaps go back into my business as a subcontractor. I did new home construction, and I'd like to work back towards that goal. That would be something I would like to do. I think the carpentry VOTEC kind of helps me with that. But that is my goal.
Let me summarize the information I got from the information that was given to me. You have a good transition plan in Batesville, Arkansas, with your daughter, Sherry Thompson. You served about 70% of your sentence. You completed all 4 phases of the sex offender treatment. You have a low risk assessment. Your static 99 is 0, which is very low. And you know what a static 99 is. So it's low. You have support letters from your former wife. Not many people can get letters of support from their former spouse, but you do have a letter from your former wife, the mother of Sherry, who is support. You have no disciplinary issues, disincarceration, which is fantastic. And you have above average work evaluation. And all of this is on the positive side of the scale for you, because you have performed well during incarceration. Warden Goodwin, would you like to make any comments at this time?
Mr. Russell, I think you covered everything. He asked him, as he mentioned to you, complete that carpentry program, and we reassigned him back to our maintenance shop. He's working in maintenance right now. He did complete phase 4 of the sex offender program, as he indicated to you. He's done model prison, no disciplinary actions whatsoever. He's always very respectful of staff, and gets along well with staff and offenders, so he's been no problem at all since he's been at this institution.
Thank you, Warden Go.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Warden. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I have a question. With this residence plan in Arkansas, are there any children in that house?
No, sir. My daughter, her daughter is grown. She has one child and she's grown and she's 20 years old and married. So there are no children in this house whatsoever. That would be something I would consider to be a high risk. So I know I cannot go to some place where there are children. So that's
okay. Thank you.
Ms. White?
And you also recognize that as a grandkids coming around, the daughter's married now, so kids will be coming. So you have to make sure the same thing applies there. And one other question, the victim in this matter indicated that the victim had been abused by her stepbrother. Was that your son?
no, ma'am, it was not my son. That was her stepbrother from her father. Her father had another relationship, had a child from a previous marriage relationship. So it was not my son, though.
Okay, thank you. That clears that up for me. Thank you. That's all I had, Jim.
Thank you, Ms. White. At this time, would Ms. Green open your mic, please? Ms. Green is the sister of Mr. Chism. Ms. Green, would you give us your name, your relationship, make your statement?
Yes, my name is Nina Green. I'm Damon's older sister. And I do want to say that I also sent a letter to the parole board. So I don't know what happened to it, but of course they don't, I guess you're not in the habit of letting us know. So I wanted to get that out there. And then I wanted to, sir?
We do have your letter.
Oh, good, good. Okay. I wanted to let you know that Damon will have my full support, as well as my husband. He's at work, or he'd be here. And just wanted to assure you, we will make sure that Damon has all the support he needs to become an active, good member of society again.
Thank you, ma'am. At this time, Ms. Sherry Thompson, his daughter. Could you give your full name and your statement, please?
My name is Sherry Thompson, and I just want to say I feel like he's learned his lesson despite being in the environment he's been in. I feel like he's improved himself, and I have a lot of health issues, and it would be a lot of help to us to have him here to help us out physically with some things around the house. And I've also gotten 2 job possibilities set up for him. And he can stay with us as long as he needs to.
Thank you, Ms. Sherry, and I wish you well, Ms. Thompson. His son-in-law, Zachary Thompson.
Yes.
Could you give your name and a statement?
Yes, I'm Zachary Thompson. I believe he's truly sorry for what he did, and he has a lot of love and support here waiting for him. He has all of our support, like Sherry said, and we know that he would be helpful to us too. And he also has a loving congregation that would love and support him here.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. We also have Ms. Leslie Hampton and the daughter, and she will not be speaking because we don't allow 3 persons to speak on the behalf of the offender. Ms. Chism, would you like to make statements before we vote?
Yes, sir. I realized what I did was a very serious crime. I'm to say I'm sorry is kind of an understatement. I don't undervalue how serious that was. I know that I'm completely guilty of this. I take 100% responsibility with what I've done. I own that. I can't blame that on anyone else but me. I'm very sorry for what I've done. I know if given an opportunity for parole, I will succeed in never reoffending again. I also know that this requires that I will never never have any contact with this family whatsoever, never bother these people again. This was a good family that I hurt, and I deeply regret that I did this to them. They didn't deserve what I had done. I deeply apologize, but I guess that's all I can say.
Thank you, Mr. Chism.
Thank you.
Is the panel ready to vote? The case was assigned to me, so I will vote first. Based upon you serving 70% of your sentence, you've completed all your sex offender treatment, you have a low risk assessment score, you have a low static 99, good programs and positive remarks for Ward Goodwin. My vote is to grant conditionally on an approved ICOT to Arkansas. You understand that this is a conditional grant, and I don't know whether your ICOT has been approved or not, but this grant is conditioned on an approved ICOT to Arkansas. After release, you are to follow all conditions of your sex offender registry, have a curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. and attend NAAA meetings at least 3 times a week. And you are to do 3 hours of community service, get with your pastor, get with your parole officer, and do some kind of community service 2 or 3 hours a month. I said a week, it's a month. You understand those conditions?
Yes, sir, I do.
This is why.
Yes, sir. He has 6 more weeks of the victim awareness. I don't know.
One second. Okay. Thank you, Ms. White.
Yes, sir.
A conditional grant, condition on the ICOT to Arkansas, completion of anger management, and completion of 100 hours pre-release. Are those the 2 courses you're in now?
Excuse me?
Victim awareness.
Yes, yes. Yes,
100 hours and victim awareness, Mr. Russell.
Okay. So basically, it's a conditional grant, the ICOT in Arkansas, victim awareness completion, and the completion of 100 hours pre-release. Thank you, Ms. White.
Mr. Damon, I'm very concerned. I'm very concerned about this victim, but the information that we have in the record shows that the minor victim's mother and father, they are forgiving you. They are not, they're in support of you getting released. And so mainly for that reason, and the warden's comments, the positive warden's comments of what you've been doing since the crime, my vote is to grant as well. And I concur with the conditions that's set forth by my colleagues. Best wishes to you, sir.
Thank you very much.
I concur with my colleagues and vote to grant with the same condition.
Mr. Chisholm, you have received 3 votes to grant your release conditionally. First is that you have an approved ICOT to Batesville, Arkansas. Second condition, that you complete victim awareness. Third condition, that you complete 100 hours pre-release. Conditions after release, that you have a curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m., that you follow all conditions of your sex offender registry. You do 3 hours of community service a month, and that you attend at least 3 NAAA meetings a week. Do you understand those conditions?
I do, sir. I do have one question I'd like to ask before you complete this. Concerning the ICOT, I've submitted my daughter's address in Batesville. There's a question about the proximity to a school. We're not certain about it. We think it's going to be okay. We're not 100% certain. My sister Mina Green and her husband have offered me a residence in their home in Waco, in the Waco, Texas area as an alternative should that be necessary. I think we'll be okay with the Arkansas address, but I can't say for sure how Arkansas is going to view the distancing. It's kind of borderline. And so I don't know, and you said in the condition of an ICOP to Arkansas, if by chance Arkansas were to deny me, would I be allowed to have the Texas ICOP approved also?
Put that in hyphen, slash between in the group ICOP to Arkansas / Texas.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You have received 3 votes to grant your request for early release conditioning. When those conditions are met, you be released. You have a good day.
You too, sir. Thank you very much to all of you.
Thank you, Mr. Rossi.
It's watching hearings like these that just make you think, like, have I gone mad? Are we all going crazy? When you can sit and watch this and feel like, what just happened? How is it that I'm the only one in this room that is disgusted by what I just saw? I cannot find a single detail of this crime. It is as if it never existed. But I can guarantee you it is nasty. And what we're looking at is a predator that has been doing this for his entire life, and he was only caught. And he's going to be getting back out. Mind you, he's going to be getting back out 6 years early. They even gave him an opportunity to be like, why did you wait, a couple of years not to apply early? Oh, no, I did apply. It just the paperwork got lost. He could have said, oh, this or that. I don't know. I love it. I love how they always say with these predators that their risk assessment is low, and that is just so absurd. It's so crazy. It's like, who designs these risk assessments for these predators, for these monsters, for these mentally ill cockroaches? Who does it? We're in a system where they would actually give every single one of these predators the lowest risk assessment for reoffending, and it's just insane. Like, people need to be held accountable. Whoever creates this charge, they need to be held accountable. Everyone needs to know this is what's happening. We're letting predators back on the street, potentially on the fringe of whether it's too close to a school or not too close to a school. Do you think that he's not going to reoffend again? I love how he describes his. He said, he's learned his lesson. Is that what his kids said about him? He's learned his lesson. He's learned his lesson. He's locked up, so he's learned his lesson. He's not going to do it again. He said he's truly sorry for what he did. He hasn't even, he's been locked up for all this time, and he's still taking programs. And it wouldn't make any difference. No, it wouldn't. But I mean, why is he? It's like he hasn't even completed. He could have completed everything. Why is he? What has he been doing? It's sick. he's the scariest type of predator too. We've seen predators where they kind of have a bullseye on their head, but no, he's well spoken. He can be your preacher next door. I'm saying with his voice or like, you know, he wants to be a contractor, going building new homes, and he's a secret monster. And then it's just disgusting to hear that the parents of the victim doesn't oppose. I am not, you know, this is it's something that I am very cautious about. Like, you know, don't judge a victim and all those things. I don't think I've ever, but this is something that I can't wrap my mind around. It's just not something I can wrap my mind around. And they did oppose all the other releases. So what's different a few years later? It almost makes me think something nefarious could have happened. Remember, all of these are just my own opinion. For anyone who would want to go out there and sue me for trying to keep a child predator locked up. This is just my opinion. Where's the DA? Where is the DA? Should be ashamed of themselves. They need to be held accountable. They show up to keep the drug dealer in the street. Mind you, someone's selling pot. Locked up in the 90s, who's been 40 years locked up. They'll show up for that guy. Where is he for this guy? Where's the DA? Where's the DA? I would love to sit down with them and say, can you explain to me why you did not feel it was important to show up? Or you're busy, write a letter. Why was it not important for you to write a letter? And they are happy they're sending him out of Louisiana. Give him to some other state. The kids, our children in Texas aren't that important. No. A child gets hurt, it's on every single one of you's hands who showed up to this hearing in support of him. It is. You'd have to live with that. And he talks about, what is it? The father talked about, no, his son, his wife, his daughter's husband. Did he bring up his church? Oh, we're waiting to have him here. Put your head in the sand. Keep it there. The idea that someone can destroy a child's life, we don't even have any details, but I've seen so many of these cases where I don't need to hear it. And I know that he has been doing this. Again, it's just my opinion. You don't just start at the age of 40? Who was it his stepdaughter? Even the mother, his ex-wife, was like, what world are we living in? It's like everything is upside down. You know what? So we don't know, but then so let's just have the DA show up. There's no why would he not serve out the remainder of 6 years of his sentence? He got just 18 years for destroying a child's life. And you'd have to be a complete idiot to believe that he had done this just one time. You could not look me straight in the face, or anyone straight in the face, and say, he only did it one time. He's not even denying that he has a disease. He don't just wake up one day and do it. At however old he was when he did it, 50, 60? You don't just wake up one day and do that. This is the first time he got caught. Sick. We live in a sick, twisted world. And when cockroaches like that can get away with it, and we keep our head in the sand, then we're culpable. So yeah, we need to start holding our DAs accountable. And it's an elected position, so they can be held accountable. I'll let you go.